everybody.
Hi, friends. Well, from beautiful Salt Lake City, Utah.
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
A podcast exploring religion, politics, and current events from two atheists just trying to survive here in these United States. I'm Dan Beecher.
And filling in for Frank, I'm Kate Birch.
You are. Thank you for being here and filling in.
You're welcome. I'm just really trying to petition to be everybody's favorite Kate.
Oh, okay.
That's my goal.
Wow.
In life.
Well, you're a very good Kate.
Thank you. It's a lofty goal, but
yeah,
it's what I'm going for.
And probably largely unnecessary.
Oh, no.
Oh,
it's very important to me.
All right. Well, we'll see by the end how many people's votes you have.
Okay.
But thank you so much for filling in. Frank is away, is still gallivanting.
Yeah, I hope he's having a good time.
I hope he's having a terrible time.
You do?
No, I'm kidding.
They're in Europe? Where did they go?
Yeah, somewhere in Europe. I think
Nice.
they might be in the UK as we speak.
I bet it's just kind of a little gray and lovely.
All of you English listeners,
Track him down.
Keep an eye out for him. Trip him if you see him.
Absolutely.
All right. We got some stories for y'all. What do you want to launch us off?
You want me to? I'm going to get us going with something a little depressing. Are you cool with that?
Oh, okay.
I'm just going to bring the mood straight down.
This is your choice. You're making choices here. So, okay, what do you got?
Okay, so I don't know if you've been listening to NPR like I have. You've probably been hearing about this story, but right now it's the time of year when the Hajj pilgrimage, pilgrimage happens in Saudi Arabia.
They're in Mecca.
Yes, everybody has traveled from, I think it's 22 different countries they've tallied that people have come from. And because of global warming, we have had some serious, there's this huge heat wave that has struck. It's been, I think what they said, highs of 117, which that to me is like Death Valley.
That's in the 40s for those of you who are.
Yeah, I could look up what that actually is. I'll try to figure that out.
Judge their temperature in centipede.
Yes, which we don't do. No. We do all the lame measurements.
Right.
Anyway, so hot, and there's about 2 million people that come every year.
Yeah, it's crazy. This small town goes from probably, less, I don't know, maybe 100. I don't know how many people.
Had I known to look this up, I would have looked it up. But
so many from very few people to suddenly
millions,
many people.
Millions of people.
Right.
Anyway, Saudi Arabia has actually invested a lot of money into trying to have infrastructure.
Yeah.
So that people aren't dying. I think I heard that they'd planted a bunch of new trees, and they were, because they wanted people to have shade, and they put a lot into it. I think they've spent billions, but nobody can predict such hot weather.
Yeah, you can. It's summertime in Saudi fucking Arabia.
Well, okay, but
you can predict hot
well,
weather.
You can now because global warming, and it keeps getting worse every year. But there's been almost 600 people that have died.
And here's the thing: 600 people that have died this year from heat related. Okay,
probably heat stroke.
Here's the thing about this: a lot of the people because everybody, men in Islam is supposed to try to make this
they're called to do this sometime within their life,
at least once in their lifetime.
Yeah, and usually they're a lot of them are coming from poorer countries, and they've saved up money for years and years and years to be able to do this.
But if you're poverty stricken,
and
there are over 1 billion Muslims in the world,
right?
And many of them are in poverty.
Yeah.
If they are able to save up enough money to get to Mecca, they frequently are. They're not going to be able to stay in the nice hotels.
Oh, no. So a lot of them, I think, just probably have to camp outside.
Many of them sleep on the street.
Yeah.
And, when there's when there's a couple million people.
Yeah, 2 million people.
You're not going to get always the good spot.
Yeah. And I guess, to be fair, if there's 2 million people there and only 550 people died of heat stroke, maybe that's good. It doesn't seem like it is.
That's a rosy take, man.
But, but there's been, it feels like it's plagued. The Hajj is plagued with, disasters,
Yeah.
which is ironic because like, okay, God wants you to do this, but there's this like, there's going to be stampedes and there's heat stroke.
And there have been.
Yeah.
We've reported on all of those things. Can I just say?
Yeah.
They need more meccas.
That would be a good idea.
You know what? Get 10 or 12 of them.
Do a pop-up.
Put them in different. Do pop-up meccas.
Pop-up Mecca. I'm telling you, this is a great idea.
Yeah.
People can bid for it like the Olympics.
Either you have insufficient Hajjs, meaning you should be doing them year round.
Yeah.
Or you need new meccas. There needs to be some reform.
Yes. Anyway, I just want to say one more thing about it.
Yeah.
And that is something that was interesting about it was I didn't realize. So Islam follows the lunar calendar.
Right.
And so the Hajj falls each year. It's like 11 days earlier. So they are going to be moving into cooler temperatures over the next, decade or so, which is good because the heat has been, obviously rising, but they're predicting, so they have these like time frames where it's going to be extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
And it's like 2047 to 2052 and then 2079 to 2086. Anyway, so like if you were Muslim and you wanted to do the Hajj, I would say plan not to go during one of those times.
Yeah.
Maybe take that decade off. You know?
Anyway. Yeah. I mean, average human lifetime, just, of course, if they were to do that, if they were to be like, this decade is only for wealthy people who can afford the air-conditioned rooms, then you got the problem of like the rest of the time, it's 3 million people there.
Well, okay,
5
fine.
million
That's true. That's true. But I'm just saying, plan for it.
Or fucking stop believing in dumb religions.
It's so weird. I know. And then like, I feel like you just have, basically your job is just repeating the same stories.
Yeah, the real
over and over again.
The real problem now is that like intercontinental travel is a possibility.
Yes, that's true.
So like more people can theoretically do the Hajj.
Yeah.
It's just
although
problematic.
a lot of the people doing it, they have saved their whole life for it. They have been poor. They haven't had good health care. So they're really susceptible to a lot when they come. They're elderly. They're not in good health. Anyway, it's just really problematic.
Let me tell you something. They're not sending their best and brightest to the Hajj.
Well, also,
they're
their God is not looking out for them.
Right?
Really doing a poor job of like taking care of these people.
Allah, these people are trying to do right by you.
Right, and then you just murder them.
Why not send in some cooler air?
Yeah, it feels like a pretty
Turn
easy
on the
fix.
AC, Allah. What are you doing?
Right?
Okay. Well, I'm going to take us to back here to these United States.
Okay.
Where a book has topped the Christian charts
Ooh.
for a while now.
My favorite chart is the Christian chart.
Right. Who doesn't want
follow it.
a good Christian book? But this one has sold more than 45 million copies since 2004.
Okay, I'm listening.
It's called Jesus Calling.
Okay.
By Sarah Young.
Does it have a theme song? It's like, hello, is it Jesus you're looking for?
Please don't sing songs that will get us in copyright trouble.
Shh.
Don't tell
Erase
anybody.
that.
Nobody tell that she did that. So here's the deal. Jesus Calling, the author, Ms. Young, died like last year.
Oh, okay.
So
Jesus called.
Jesus called, she answered.
All right.
But the book's been selling well. Here's the problem. Some people are wondering if it's okay.
Well, what do you mean? What do you mean?
This book might not be okay.
Is it because it's like telling you to be too nice to people?
No.
Oh,
no.
what?
It's just that interspersed among sort of platitudinous scripture, Sarah Young decided to write out missives in the voice of Jesus.
Oh, wow.
Which is like fine. It's just a convention, right?
Sure.
It's just a stupid.
I mean, it sounds like it'd make it a little less boring. I feel like I'd be more likely to read it.
I'll read you. And it's like a day by day thing. It's meant to be.
It's a Jesus diary.
It's like kind of. It's like affirmations.
It's like, dear God, this is Jesus.
Here's what.
Okay.
I'll read a clip.
Okay, I'm ready.
I'll read a clip.
Okay, read a clip of it.
I just pulled this up on Amazon.
Okay.
And, you know how you get to read a sample or whatever. So this is the sample from January 4th.
Okay.
I want you to learn a new habit. This is Jesus talking.
Okay.
Try saying, I trust you, Jesus, in response to whatever happens to you. If there is time, think about who I am in all my power and glory. By the way, okay, can I just say, I hate the convention of all of the pronouns and everything that refer to God or Jesus having to be capitalized.
Yes, totally.
He wants you to do this or whatever, and then you capitalize the he.
Well, this way it's I, so that would already be capitalized.
I is capitalized, but
me.
All of my and then she has capitalized anything that applies back to him. So think about who I am in all my power and glory, and my power. And power and glory are all capitalized.
Oh, this is not a good idea for my eyes. Like, I'm not going to know where the sentence is stopping and starting.
It's such a weird convention. It doesn't make any sense. It feels like it's all like branded.
Yeah.
Like everything's trademarked.
Everything has like a little R and a circle
My
next
power
to it.
and glory registered. Ponder also the depth and breadth of my love, trademark for you. It's so weird. Anyway.
This is, sorry to butt in, but
yeah.
like, I kind of feel like can we copyright all these things and trademark these things? Like, what was the thing we were just looking at the other day? And we were like, how can that possibly be trademarked?
Oh, it was a popcorn bag.
Yes.
And it was like buttery goodness or something is trademarked.
Like that. And we were like, no. But what if we did it for the God
not.
things?
It was a Kleenex box.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like
lotion.
It was like soothing lotion is trademarked.
Yeah, so why can't we do his power trademarked?
Because Jesus trademarked it before we
did. I think that if it hasn't been through the through the courts.
Okay.
Somebody do that.
Anyway, go ahead and try. Didn't somebody try and trademark all of the possible like note combinations?
Oh.
They just wrote an algorithm and then just went and trademarked literally every possible tune.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
that's absurd.
And that was what they were trying to do. Was point out the absurdity.
Totally.
Anyway, people are getting a little bit uppity. So Ms. Young was a missionary in the Presbyterian Church in America.
Okay.
Or PCA.
And they're a little bit more chill.
I don't know.
The Presbyterians, aren't they kind of more like, you can just do whatever you want. If you want to speak for Jesus, speak for Jesus.
I don't know how chill they are.
Okay.
Anyway, obviously, she made a lot of money off of these things. She sold millions of books.
Oh, man.
But some of the leaders of the PCA in their General Assembly have voted to ask, I guess they're impaneling a committee, the denominational committee, to assess whether Jesus Calling, the book, is appropriate for Christians to read based on the fact that she wrote it in the voice of Jesus and she did not have the right to write in the voice of Jesus.
Yeah. I mean,
it's so dumb. You guys, it's a literary convention. She's not actually claiming, plenty of people
claiming to be Jesus.
Plenty of people literally claim to be Jesus or claim to have access to his voice or his, literally all of them pray to Jesus for wisdom about something. And the only way you can know if Jesus answered is if you if you're claiming that you in some way, maybe not literally, but in some way you heard the voice of Jesus talking through you.
Yeah.
You all do this.
But she also is a woman, so that's one check against her.
Yeah. Nobody likes those people.
It doesn't matter. She's dead. She's already made a lot of money from this book.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Her husband is defending her.
Oh.
In part because
Yeah, he's still making money.
That money's still got to go somewhere.
Keep it coming.
Yeah, I don't know. It's anyway, that's dumb, and they're
What a
dumb.
funny thing to be angry about. People are so silly.
They are.
Is it my turn to tell another story?
Yeah, please dive right in.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you, I feel like most of the stories I'm telling you today are like, I just feel like I'm repeating myself. I just feel like I come on your show with you, and I just tell you the same stories, but with different names.
This is the big secret of our whole show. All the stories are the same.
These goddamn churches just keep doing the same things over and over in different shitty ways.
Yeah, it's those different shitty ways.
It's the different shitty ways.
That
Okay.
we need to highlight.
So today I'm telling you about the Christian Reformed Church in North America, which is apparently one of the oldest denominations it's in the United States. I don't know when it was formed, but it's apparently quite old.
Okay.
And so they just had a synod, which is basically they call together like all the heads of the churches to vote on something, and they voted 134 to 50 that they just weren't going to welcome the LGBTQ plus members anymore. They were like, there's these churches out there, you guys are just being too nice to these people.
Here's what's
Why
amazing.
are you welcoming them?
You just said, and I'm just going to highlight this. You just said they're not welcoming LGBTQ members. That's very different than a lot of these other things.
That is a good point.
That it's not like they're saying, well, our members, you can be gay here, but you can't get married, or we just don't have gay clergy or whatever. No, they're saying, fuck off. You don't even get to walk through the goddamn door.
Yeah, but there are churches within this CRC, like the bigger church. Like there's individual churches that are actually welcoming to the whole community.
Skun-dun-dun.
And they have like public statements about it. Like, so each of these churches will have a statement, and some of them are like, we affirm the LGBTQ plus people. We want them to be a part of our
we affirm the people. We affirm that your people we like people.
Well, no, they're saying we want you in as membership in
I
church.
understand that. They're still they're very clearly still part of a denomination that not only doesn't affirm them as people, but like definitely like even the nicest ones are clearly like, probably don't do it though, and you can't get married.
No. I do think that some of these like are welcoming in all the right ways. I think
not no more.
Well, not anymore. So what they're having to what they're being faced with is, do we like take away those statements and denounce it and stay within the church, or do we say, hey, we're not going to be affiliated with you anymore, we're going to break away? And a lot of them are really sad about it because they very much believe in their church, and I just see such irony in the fact that they're like, they think that they're like ministering love and all of this is coming from God, and then it's like, well,
yeah,
there's like some weird blindness there where you're like, okay, you believe in this good God, but he's allowing this to happen, like just even within his church. Like, how can you even keep believing anymore? It's just, that feels so strange to me.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway,
good.
But one more funny thing about it.
Okay.
So some of the churches that are pulling out and are not going to be disaffiliating with them, are actually some of the ministries that like have the most rich people, and they contribute the most money to the church overall. And so it's kind of going to bite them in the ass when these people disaffiliate, and then they're not going to have the amount of funds that they did anymore.
Yep.
So fuck them.
Well, there you go. Yes. Fuck them indeed. I'm going to go up to the Great White North, eh?
Okay.
We're going to take it up to Canada for this story where
Soda.
I
just said soda. Soda?
Why are you saying soda?
I was just trying to say soda.
You're okay.
Soda, eh?
What about Minnesota?
Yes, that too.
All right. Well,
sorry if I've probably offended everybody.
No. Canadians are not allowed to get offended. They're too nice. It's against their code. What do they call it? I don't remember what. Anyway, one of the things that is legal and okay in Canada is their medical assistance in dying law, which is their acronym is MAID. MAID. Anyway, they have the legal right in Canada to choose to die and get medical assistance for that.
I think that's awesome.
It's usually done in cases of terminal illness.
Mm-hmm. And you probably still have to like go through a checklist or something. Does it have to be approved?
It has to be somewhat I don't know what the rules are for it. What I do know is tragically, a young woman named Samantha O'Neill, who was only 34 years old, had cervical cancer last year. It was terminal. Oh. She was, they tried chemo, they tried some other things. Yeah,
just didn't.
And she was definitely going to die.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. She wanted to spend her last moments with her family.
Yeah.
And then choose to be medically assisted.
That makes such sense to me.
But the hospital to which she had been emergently transported was the nearest hospital to her.
Oh no, it was religious.
A Catholic hospital. This is St. Paul's Hospital in Vancouver. Mm-hmm. And because it's Catholic and they don't believe in euthanasia, they basically said no.
Whoa.
Now, she was in such bad shape.
Yeah.
And in such dramatic pain.
Oh, this is heartbreaking.
That she couldn't be transported to another hospital.
She wouldn't have made it.
And so instead, the hospital put her into basically a medical coma. And then she just sort of
had to wither away and die.
Well, they did try to transport her, but to a hospice facility.
Yeah, but she didn't get what she wanted, which was probably to have her family around her while she was conscious, to be able to feel like they got to say their goodbyes, and then to just have it be over.
Yeah.
Without that suffering and all that, and also that money that gets spent and the resources that could go to somebody else. And it's
so
absurd.
Much stuff. It makes so much sense.
Yeah.
She that's exactly what she wanted.
Yeah.
And she was denied that in a country where it is her legal right.
Yeah. Can they sue the church?
Well, they are.
Are they?
Her family is.
Way to go, her
is
family.
Suing.
That's awesome.
So yeah, they are suing not only the hospital, but also the British Columbia Health Ministry.
Ooh,
because this is one of those things where I think basically dying with. So here's a quote.
Okay.
That says Dying with Dignity Canada, which is the name of the organization that's filing the lawsuit on behalf of the family. They say because they're. BC Health is basically saying that we're getting a new secular facility in that area, whatever, and they're Dying with Dignity Canada is saying like that new space. It hasn't been built yet, but it still won't solve the problem because she was taken to the nearest hospital.
Yeah, this could happen to somebody else.
And once you're there, like if you can't be safely transferred, because apparently her bones, she had gotten horrible osteoporosis or from the
treatment
chemos.
Yeah,
like she was in terrible pain. She had multiple cracked ribs because transporting her was unsafe and all this stuff. And basically, what they said was that moving a patient who requests this
treatment,
dignity death, from a faith-based facility stigmatizes the patient because you're being told that what you're requesting is sinful.
Right, totally. And it's guaranteed by law in their country.
Yeah.
That
means that this Catholic hospital, as this article puts it, they were interfering with her medical care.
Yeah.
The hospital is not providing the needed medical care.
Yeah.
And look, I get it. There are times when, you know, a person, a medical provider or a medical, you know, like a doctor or an organization, they draw certain lines.
Yeah.
But if you're going to commit to being a hospital that provides emergent care or medical care of any kind, at some point, a line somebody's got to win.
Well,
and
also,
the person who's got to win has got to be the patient.
And it seems like there could be things put into practice so that they could be like, well, the family pushes the button. Or, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know what. It seems like there could be, they do all the steps up until some point, and then if their conscience can't deal with it.
Well, usually it's the patient that pushes the button.
So then there shouldn't be an issue.
But they don't want to be in, well, I can't provide that.
Well, so what? If somebody went and committed suicide there, then what? It's the same thing.
Just fucking leave a bunch of pills on a table, for crying out loud. Do whatever you like. Do anything.
Yeah.
Have humanity.
Yeah.
But no, they did not.
No, because it's really a lot more interesting to just control people at their most difficult moments.
Mind you, we're talking about a country that's 12 steps ahead of where our country is. So.
Oh, I know. That's why it's kind of shocking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, what do you got?
Okay. So there's this, what was the largest Christian university, I think, in the United States, that just lost this just lost a lawsuit because they've basically lied to their students and charged them way more than they had first advertised to them.
So what's the university?
So the university is Grand Canyon University.
There you go.
Dale's like, no. If you guys could see him shaking his head, he's like, no, Kate, you didn't get that right. It's Grand Canyon University.
That's right. Which is funny because a lot of people end up going to Grand Canyon University because they don't explicitly say
that they're a Christian university.
They don't make it obvious at first. I've actually specifically spoken to people who ended up going to Grand Canyon University and only finding out once they started there and once they had gotten whatever, you know,
degree or something,
or once they you know got their some sort of funding in place or whatever,
and then they found out,
and then they're
Christian.
Like, oh, I guess I'll just.
That would suck. Well, it's based out of Phoenix, Arizona, and a lot of it is actually online schooling. So it's probably really popular because it's like they offer, you can get doctorate degrees. So there's all sorts of degrees that you could get, and the programs that were mainly problematic in this whole lawsuit were doctoral programs. And so they had this thing online where people could go online and they could like enter what program they wanted to be a part of, and it would give them like this overview of how much it would cost them. And so it would be like, from start to finish, your degree is going to cost you $38,000. And so, you know, obviously, figuring out how much your degree is going to cost you is going to help influence where you go to school. Yeah. So they may have picked someplace else had they known the actual price that they were going to be, you know, spending.
Bait and switch is never okay.
Yeah.
You're just not, that's not okay to do ever to anyone.
Yeah. And each of the people ended up spending like $7,500 more dollars than they were planning on spending, that adds up.
That's not a small number at all.
No, it was like almost like 20% or something.
That is not a rounding
education.
error in most grad students' lives.
Yeah. Anyway, so there was the Department of Education, I think it was the Department of Education, you know, told them you owe all these huge fines for this now. And it was like $37 million in fines that they ended up having to pay. But on top of that, there's been these class action lawsuits brought by, you know, some of the students individually. I don't understand when a school is fined $37 million. Where does that money go? Because it feels like it should go back to the people who paid too much. But my guess is that it doesn't.
Well, no, I mean, but that's the point, is that like you're going to get fined.
Yeah.
But that fine can be used as evidence in this kind of trial.
That's true.
And then these people can seek their own restitution.
Right. But that's hard. I mean, we all know like
my
how
God, it's so
how
hard.
difficult it is, and it's hard to get people on a class action lawsuit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so but the reason that the government was even able to fine them was because the school, even though it's a private Christian university, received like over $1.1 billion in Title IV funding. And so, they're accepting all this money from the government, and then they're screwing over their students.
Yeah.
And pocketing all this money.
Sounds Christian to me.
And then, to top it all off, they're like, we didn't do anything wrong. We didn't lie. We're totally in the right. And on top of it, then they just say, you're persecuting us because we're Christians.
Of course they do.
So in case you didn't see that coming.
It's all lining. Yeah, if you've listened to this show for, I don't know, one times, you know that's not surprising at all.
Exactly.
Well, I'm going to close this off with a nice little note.
Okay.
The Unitarian Universalists are obviously they're like the nice people who don't really believe anything.
They're like religion light.
Yeah. They sure do. They have certain things that they have convinced them that they believe.
Yeah. Do they believe in God?
Some of them do.
Yeah.
They don't require a belief in God.
I think that's amazing.
They don't have doctrines per se, but they have a list of principles, guiding principles. There are 7 of them.
Oh, I know some other people who have 7.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's
7's popular.
And those are actually similar.
Oh, okay.
But they include things like the first principle is the inherent worth and dignity of every person. I know some people who are very undignified.
And worthless.
The second is justice, equity, and compassion in human relations, acceptance of one another, and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations. It's that sort of thing.
That's a little tricky though. Spiritual growth. What does that even mean if you don't believe in God? I don't know. I don't know what spiritual growth means.
They don't either. I'm guessing. I mean, look, it's open to interpretation, right?
All right. Yeah.
Here's the thing. When the Unitarians decided to unite with the Universalists, and vice versa, one of the things that they came up with was the idea, they came up with the 7 principles, but they also came up with the idea that every so often, specifically every 15 years, as per their bylaws, they would revisit.
Oh, I like that.
Their 7 principles.
I think that's actually a really good idea.
I think so too. I think every time you do it, it's going to get a little harder to change them or whatever.
That's true. And 15 years, what's an interesting amount of time to choose? Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. This only happened in 1961. So
it's only been a couple times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through, I don't know. Math.
We'd have to do math for
It's been math number of times that they've had to do this.
Yeah.
And this time, they're considering a new principle.
Oh, I want to know. What is it?
I'm not telling.
Why?
No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Rude.
You just got overexcited. I needed to burst your bubble a little bit. Basically, the 8th principle would be a covenant to, quote, accountably dismantle racism and other oppression in ourselves and our institutions.
Wow.
Which at first when I read it, I thought, isn't that a little bit redundant with some of their other things? Because their things are all about sort of
equity and stuff.
Equity and justice and all of these things. But it is its own thing, and it is, and trying actively working to dismantle. Yeah. These injustices and modes of oppression is a positive thing.
And it's beyond your small self. Sounds like.
And it's also they say they want to dismantle it in the self and in the institution.
Right.
I think that those are both important concepts. And it's not just we believe in justice and we believe in not being racist. It's about actively dismantling that.
Yeah.
And that's a different thing. So I kind of like that. I kind of think that's cool.
I think it's really cool. I wonder how they think they're going to go about doing it.
I don't know. It's a platitude at this point, maybe. But I mean, at least if they see it as a principle, then they'll be looking for it.
Yeah.
But even among Unitarian Universalists, guess what?
Oh no,
it's human beings. So there are some dickheads who are opposing it
because they're racists.
I mean,
maybe
I'm not going to say yay or nay to that.
Uh-huh.
I am just going to say that, like, one of the groups that is pushing for this is a group of Black Unitarian Universalists. You will not be surprised if you've ever been to a UU place.
I haven't.
You won't be surprised. I won't be surprised that they're almost all white. It is mostly white
okay.
people.
You're right. I know friends who are Unitarians, and I guess I have been to one of the Unitarian churches, but I don't remember what it's for.
Anyway, it's a very white organization. And here's the thing. The people pushing for this, some of the people pushing for this are the Black organizations within the Unitarian Universalist thing. And they're talking about, like, the dismantling of white supremacy.
Right.
And boy, does that ruffle the feathers of some of these people opposing it.
Boomers.
You're telling me that I was white supremacist just because I was sitting, here and going to church like a good person and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. But one of the things they're saying is, hey, could you just take a look at yourself?
Right. Which they hate.
Yeah.
Human beings, I don't know if you've met humans, but they don't like being told, look at yourself.
Yeah.
You might have some
internalized biases.
Some bullshit inside. So yes, they really don't like it. But the good news is that most of Unitarian Universalists are cool with it.
So did they adopt it? They actually officially adopted it? Do you know, or is it still like being proposed?
I think it's still in the works. But it looks like a majority are with it. So there you go.
Well, that's great. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, friends, if you would like to tell us about your experience with racist Unitarians, you can do so right into us podcast at thankgodimatheist.com. Or you can leave a voicemail and get your voice on the air. Maybe. We don't guarantee we'll play it, but give it a shot. We want to hear your voice. The number is 424-666-TGIA. That's 424-666-8442, I think.
The numbers are on your phone.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So there you go. More show coming up. All right, so Frank isn't here,
right?
As I'm sure people have noticed.
Probably, they figured it out by now.
So we're not going to do emails, and we're sort of skipping the middle segment a little bit, except to say that the only way this show goes is through the generous support of our patrons.
They're so great,
and it would be nice. If more people would do that.
It's a call to arms.
It's a call. Yes, indeed. So, if you would like to become one of our patrons, I'm not going to thank our patrons this week. We're going to save it till next week to thank.
Oh, that means you could be one.
Yeah,
hurry, get on it. Then you can
exactly.
Get thanked.
It would be really nice if you've been thinking about it for a minute, or if it has occurred to you. Pause the show now. Go to thankgodimatheist.com/donate.
Just has to be a couple bucks.
It can be, if you're a patron, if you want to be a patron, I think at the $2 per episode level, you get the Frank and Dan diary. That's not that much.
And honestly, it's really fun.
Yeah.
I like our one we did this. We did a really good one.
man, I agree. Actually, it was really interesting, and you can hear all about it. You can hear about my TikTok lives and what I'm trying to do with them.
And my idea for a podcast.
That's true. So if you want to hear about all that, just go to thankgodimatheist.com/donate and click on the Patreon tab on the right side and sign up. And you know, you choose the level that you want to give to us. Anyway, any amount helps, and we really appreciate your patronage. So with that said, let's move on quickly without so that nobody notices.
Hurry.
We're just moving on.
We're just doing it.
We're just sneaking our way into our final segment, which is most Americans have now heard about it. Certainly our listeners have heard about this. I'm
sure. It's all over all of my feeds.
Yeah, which is that Louisiana has become the first state to require
the
10 Commandments being displayed in
every classroom.
Yeah, every public school classroom.
It's not even like there needs to be one in the school. No. Every classroom?
Yeah.
Somebody is related to the poster maker that cranks out these. Like, literally, you just go do a little bit of research and somebody's family member owns poster paper.
Well, I mean, listeners will recall that this was proposed here in Utah.
Oh yeah,
and a law was working its way through. Didn't.
But then it
got stalled out.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank goodness it got stalled out. Because it would be going into effect now also. Mm-hmm. And you know, we talked about all of the ways because they don't want they think that they're getting around the whole church-state separation thing if they don't make the state pay for it.
Right.
So they you know, they put out, so they say that, you know, some kind donor is going to do it. And I was all prepared to make up my own things and just,
But that's not how the Louisiana one is, it?
I don't know.
I don't think
I haven't looked into it. But what I wanted to talk about, because we have explored this concept quite a bit on this show, but I just wanted to talk about, I've seen these state legislators going on to CNN or going on to various shows and talking about this legislation. And what's instantly clear if you watch any of these things,
I have,
is that they haven't thought it all through at all.
Well, and they don't care to.
And they don't care to.
Yeah.
They are not interested in the slightest in actually justifying this in a way that makes sense legally or makes sense constitutionally. They know that they are flouting the U.S. Constitution.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Because they're like, we could change it. We want to change it.
They see that they know what our Supreme Court currently looks like. So they want the lawsuits that are already in process.
Yeah.
The Americans United for Church-State Separation has one going. I'm guessing the ACLU is joining with them. I don't know if the FFIRF is involved. Anyway.
Well, our Supreme Court has already shown that they're very sympathetic to this sort of thing.
Yeah. They want that lawsuit. They're eager for that lawsuit.
Yeah.
And the point, I guess the thing that bothers me is that they're not even trying anymore.
Yeah.
They're not even pretending like there is any logical or reasonable or legal justification for what they're doing. They're just plonking it out there. You know, one of the sponsors of the bill was challenged and just, this was even before the bill passed. And, that was asked, what about Muslims in classes? What about atheists? And she literally said, I don't care about Muslims and atheists.
Yeah, she's like, they don't have to look at it, which is so ironic, coming from the people who are like, you can't have a pride flag up in a classroom.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I do understand because they're really good at this.
The memes have been going around, explain to me how it's indoctrination to put up a pride flag, but not to put up this thing. And here's the other thing that I want to talk about. and this is if you get into it with your Uncle Steve at family dinner, or you know, your shitty aunt so and so.
Yeah.
What they're going to say, because they don't think about this. Nobody is putting any thought into this.
Yeah.
So what they're going to say, the party line is, this is a historical document.
Oh, I know.
It's the
amazing.
basis. It's the basis for our legal system. Blah blah blah. And you know, I like this morning I saw somebody who was commenting on a friend's Facebook thread about it, and said even atheists are okay with these laws. These are obvious, real, like normal, like. And what he's saying is,
we're okay with do not kill and do not steal, and that's it. You got 2. You get 2 of the 10.
I literally, so I commented on it and I said, atheist here. And I just want to make it clear. We think the 10 Commandments are stupid.
They are stupid.
And they're not. So let's be, I want to encourage all of you at home. Maybe don't be as in your face as I was in this, but let's be clear that this is a dumb set of rules.
It's the stupidest set of rules.
They're either A, so patently and absurdly obvious as to be worthless.
Don't kill, don't steal.
Oh, right. Wow. Thank God your God carved that into a rock, because we would never have figured that out without you. Or they don't apply, and even Christians believe they don't apply.
Right.
They don't admit it. But you ask them, are you okay with someone hanging a picture of Jesus or God on their wall?
All over everything they own.
That's literally, what do they think the graven images thing is about?
Yeah.
Like no pictures.
Yeah.
Bitches.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it is
don't
like.
covet. Fuck you, you're coveting.
Yeah.
I guarantee you most of your life is spent coveting.
Yeah. If you look at your neighbor's car and you're like, oh,
that's really nice. I want one of those. I want a Cybertruck.
Yeah.
Like, you're telling me that you have not been doing, like, this is literally where the most consumeristic capitalistic society, it's all you do all day, every day.
Yeah. It would be un-American not to covet.
Right?
And then the rest are just like things that don't apply to anybody other than like literally the ancient Hebrews. Like all that shit about like, thou shalt have no God before me is because they believed in lots of gods, and God was saying to them, yeah, all those gods are out there, but
I'm the best one.
I'm the only one you're allowed to worship.
Right.
You're only allowed to worship me. I'm awesome. I'm the best.
And every third grader better just worship me and not those other gods.
Right. What the literally somebody online pointed out that if you said, "Hey, this gay author has written this thing that I want to post in my classroom," and it says, it says all this shit about like, don't have sex with another person's wife. I think they would
flip out. You seriously?
Why are you sexualizing our children or whatever?
And then
if you put that in the classroom in that context, in the context of a bunch
adultery,
of dumb rules,
that
are like wildly outdated. Why are you telling children not to fuck each other's wives?
Right? I can't even actually, now that I'm thinking of it, remember all the commandments.
You know who else can't remember all the commandments?
Literally everybody. Yes.
Any of those legislators.
I believe it.
Why? Like, Colbert did it once and asked a guy, what are the commandments? And he didn't know them.
Yeah.
All of these people should be required to recite all of these.
Maybe this is why they want them in the public schools, because they didn't learn them.
If you look at the bill itself, and I've got it somewhere, the number of commandments is not 10.
Oh, really?
Because here's the thing.
Some of them are
nowhere
repetitive.
I think it's Exodus 20. And nowhere in Exodus 20 does it say
10?
These are the 10 commandments.
Right. It's a whole list, right?
And different. And then it goes on. Like after Exodus 20, if you just keep reading, it's like 15 chapters of other laws, other commandments, other rules, whatever. So like, and then even if we're just looking at Exodus 20 and we're looking at those, it's not clear where some of those commandments stop. Like and different denominations
believe different ones.
Break it down differently.
Yeah.
Some of them think I am the Lord thy God is the first commandment. Some of them think I am the Lord thy God, thou shalt have no gods before me is the first commandment. And it, like, if you look at it, there's 12 commandments potentially there.
Yeah.
11 is an easy number to hit. Like 10, you kind of got to squint to make it 10.
But I'm pretty sure 10 is the one they made a movie about.
Yeah.
So that's how you know it's
Listen,
10.
Once Cecil B. DeMille has signed on, the debate is over.
Well, this is it, you know? Like, they learned it was 10 commandments because somebody said that.
Yeah.
And so now that's the historical record that these kids need to be learning.
Yeah. It's the 10 Commandments.
Ooh, I just had such a fun idea.
Okay.
I think they should just have it in the original, what is it? Hebrew? Latin?
No, Hebrew.
I think, fine, you can have the 10 Commandments, but you have to have it the way it originally is. You can't have translated it because then you're changing things. So you can put that up there. You can put up the original historical document.
In Hebrew.
Yeah,
because the language that they put into the bill, and they're very proud of this.
Yeah.
Is that it's from from
King James?
The King James version. And, you know, I saw a video of one of the legislators talking about how that's what makes it historic, is that it's from one of, and she at least knew to say one of the original translations. But she's wrong about that. The King James version is a version, not a translation.
Ooh.
It is not a translation from the original, from the Hebrew.
Nice.
It is literally a version. It has been modified from an earlier translation.
Yeah.
It's bad.
I think that we should just be like, yes, we agree. We should totally put your historic document up, but like you can't have polluted it. Like it needs to be original.
Yeah.
And everybody needs to get on board with that. Like, fine, you can put it up. You can put up the original document, but none of this like changing it. You can't have changed it. That's
Yeah. Anyway, it's a dumb law, and it only dumb things will happen because of it.
Yeah, it's just gonna get dumb things are gonna happen. I'm really curious because we know it will be, you know.
It's already, the challenge is already in the works.
And it probably will go to the Supreme Court. And then they're probably just going to be like, you know what? We actually decided we want to be a Christian nation.
Well, the fact of the matter is that like the worst elements on our nation's Supreme Court right now also have stopped trying to justify it and just literally just go, and then they do the thing that they wanted to do.
Yeah, all these quote-unquote originalists who are like, bullshit, you are.
Yeah, they literally don't even care anymore.
Yeah.
You know, the Alitos and Thomases and they're there now just to turn this into a theocracy.
Absolutely. And this is why we all have to vote for Joe Biden. And this is also why we have to convince the next administration to change the Supreme Court, to put some more players in.
We need, and
expand that team.
And no, you don't get to break it before you fix it.
Yeah.
So we have to fix, like, that has never worked. It will never work.
Yeah.
We have to just fix it the bad way, but it's the best way we got.
Yeah.
All right, friends. Well, I'm guessing some folks have some shit to chime in about with this.
I want to hear it.
If you would like to, please write into us. Podcast at thankgodimatheist.com is the way to do it. Or you can call into us, which is 424-666-8442, and leave a voicemail for us. To support the show, go to thankgodimatheist.com/donate, and please give us some of your money. Our show is edited by Roger Gowdy, music by the Red Rock Hot Club and Gordon Johnston. Thanks so much. And thanks to all y'all for tuning in. We sure do appreciate you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank God I'm Atheist is a production of TGIA Media, LLC, copyright 2024, all rights reserved.